successes and disappointments, learning from one another. Get a Be Better health plan from Beacon and get simple and affordable medical benefits so you can build a better team. Call 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt for more information.
Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Reaching my dreams with GUT. They're the ones for me. I'm reaching my dreams with GUT. They're the ones for me. Since 1983, they've been serving the country, and we like all their financing, giving the people what they want, what they need, what they love. Come and join the family that's here for you all the way. From birth to graduation, your first job to your home and your car through your golden years.
The GT Credit Union has been actively supporting nation building through its many sponsorships and the programs including Financial Literacy Quiz, Pass the Torch Calypso Program, Junior Cooperatives in Secondary Schools, CPEA, and the TAMCC Grants. The credit union has helped many people make their dreams come true. Let them help you with yours. You don't have to be a teacher to be a member. So what are you waiting for?
GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
This is the GBN News for today, Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. I'm Beverly Telesford. In the headlines, Grenada's Prime Minister among long list of Grenadians in tense wait-and-see mode for American elections. He says the results will be important for Grenada. Minister of National Security repeats calls for the cops to stop hunting down people found smoking a marijuana spliff. An asymptomatic case of COVID imported from the United Kingdom, the second being reported in as many days. And the RTs not being left out of touch COVID-19 screening procedures. Coming up in sports, Andre Fletcher pledges hard work for a New Zealand tour. And in Around the Globe, $3 million reward offered by Guyana police for assistance in Berbice murders. The details to these after this message.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening to our viewers and listeners on K105. This is GBN News at 7. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell is among people here who had a long night on Tuesday. Indications are that he would have sat by his television set and had been monitoring online feeds which were relaying early results of the U.S. elections. The outcome of the U.S. presidential election is on a knife edge, with Donald Trump and his rival Joe Biden neck and neck in key swing states. The election has generated keen interest here since thousands of Grenadians live and work in major U.S. cities. Terry and Blackman-Stephen reports.
Several key states are expected to finish counting by the end of this evening, but the election may not be decided for days. The race has come down to a handful of swing states where ballots are being counted. Here in Grenada, many stayed up late Tuesday night and continued into the early hours of Wednesday morning, hoping to learn who will be the next president. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell is among those anticipating the outcome. Last night, he told constituents at a town hall meeting that they needed to cut him some slack because of the importance of the big event of the day.
And as you know, the national elections in America, by the way, you have to release me early. I must go and see the results. That thing important for all of us, eh? I can't sleep tonight. And you know what I'm praying for. All right.
The American elections was also on the lips of people from varying walks of life.
They need to give him a try to see how things are going to go. You know, Biden.
From a rational point of view, I would say Biden. Yeah?
I would support Biden.
Huh?
Biden.
Why? Why would you choose Biden?
I find the man that more serious.
Biden, because I see him as a different man with a different personality, would run the country better than Trump. And he is the people's people. Trump is mostly for the rich class of people. And he's a racist. I don't like that.
Some worry about how the Grenadian relatives in the U.S. will fare if President Trump is elected, since he has been on an anti-immigrant campaign for the first 4 years in office. These intensified in recent times.
I don't like Biden. Well, I find Biden policies more appropriate now during this time of the pandemic than Trump's.
I don't like Trump.
Why?
He's too wicked. All the things he's doing for black people, that's what I don't like. I want Donald Trump to lose his seat. I would like for Garden to win.
Trump #1. I give Trump all the way. The reason for that, as long as Trump win election, I know for sure there's vaccine ain't reaching in the Caribbean at all. You understand? And we don't want this vaccine down here. So tell them Trump all the way. I give Trump. And I'm telling you, I see Trump win already. He win already, I'm telling all you. America, Trump don't win.
The U.S. is on course for the highest electoral turnout in a century. More than 100 million people cast their ballots in early voting before Election Day, and tens of millions more added their vote on Tuesday. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
For the first time in recent history, Americans went to the polls and delayed counting went beyond the usual 5-hour window for a preliminary result to be announced. The last time something close to this happened was 20 years ago when a dispute erupted over the final vote count in the key swing state of Florida. Up till late this afternoon, both parties were saying they had a path to victory. We here at the GBN have been providing coverage of the election results. We cross over to CNN for the latest results.
Lower the temperature, to see each other again, to listen to one another, to hear each other again, and respect and care for one another, to unite, to heal, to come together as a nation. I know this won't be easy. I'm not naive. Neither of us are. I know how deep and hard the opposing views are in our country on so many things. But I also know this as well. To make progress, we have to stop treating our opponents as enemies. We are not enemies. What brings us together as Americans is so much stronger than anything that can tear us apart. So let me be clear. We are campaigning as Democrats, but I will govern as an American president. Every vote must be counted. No one's going to take our democracy away from us. Not now, not ever. America's come too far. America's fought too many battles. America's endured too much to ever let that happen. We, the people, will not be silenced. We, the people, will not be bullied. We, the people, will not surrender. My friends, I'm confident we'll emerge victorious. But this will not be my victory alone or our victory alone. It'll be a victory for the American people, for our democracy, for America. And there will be no blue states and red states when we win, just the United States of America.
So it was clear that Joe Biden there was reaching across the aisle as well, extending an early olive branch to everyone who did not vote for him as well. Now, we have heard many of these same words before from him, some of them verbatim on the campaign trail. But, Jake, they carried significant more weight today as he was delivering them here on the cusp of the outcome of this presidential campaign. And I was struck by saying he's not naive. If elected, of course, he would be the oldest president ever to serve in the office. But this is a different time and a different climate. But he does, of course, want to unify and reach out. So that was his message. And, Jake, one person he did not mention, President Donald Trump.
That's right. Did not mention him at all. Jeff Zeleny in Wilmington, Delaware. Thanks so much. It is remarkable, Dana, when you think about the very different characters of these two men and the very different reactions that we've heard from Trump and from Biden today. Neither of them has been elected president. Both of them are short as of right now and of the 270 electoral votes. And what we've heard from Joe Biden is count all the votes and I want to unify the country. And what we've heard from Trump early this morning or late last night and then through his lawyers and on Twitter is just a whole bunch of nonsense and conspiracy theories and lies and misrepresentations and claiming that he won when he didn't. And I mean, it couldn't be more different.
It couldn't be more different. And what Jeff just said is so true. We heard versions of what Joe Biden said today along the way, frankly, starting at the beginning of his campaign. His reason for running was to give a speech like this, was in the hopes of being a potential president, like he just kind of illustrated with the speech that he gave today. And what he is trying to do is to kind of embody that, is trying to say, I ran to be a different kind of person. I ran to be a president that brings people together, even people who didn't support me, and maybe we never will. And the fact that he wants to kind of have a bookend when he doesn't know, even though he's leaning into the notion that he believes he will win, but said explicitly he does not know if it will happen, it hasn't happened yet, is very interesting and very telling and very, very Joe Biden.
In addition to voting to decide who the 46th president of the United States becomes, there were other key matters before the American electorate. One of the ancillary subjects on the ballot in some states related to decriminalizing marijuana. According to CNN projections on the polls, voters have approved ballot measures to legalize recreational marijuana in Arizona and New Jersey, and both recreational and medical use in South Dakota. South Dakota will be the first state ever to approve medical and recreational marijuana measures at the same time. Here in Grenada, the discussions continue on the possible legalization of marijuana. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell has been weighing in on the subject.
Pre-election polling showed that the ballot initiatives had support in Arizona, Montana, and New Jersey. Currently, 11 states have legalized full adult marijuana use. The subject was proven to be a divisive one in Grenada and caused major public debate in the last 6 weeks after the main opposition party announced its support of decriminalizing the use of the drug. The topic was brought up last night during a town hall meeting at Boca in St. George's, which featured Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell.
I was seeing that in 8 states, as they were giving the exit polls, right? 8 states had referendum on decriminalizing marijuana. 8 states in the United States. In fact, President Obama said 10 years ago his views on those issues have changed dramatically, and we are moving in different times. So we are looking. The CARICOM region had taken a decision to establish a committee, a commission, and therefore, as countries throughout the region, we all are moving to deal with that issue. And the question is how we deal with it. It's not a one-dimensional approach, there are different approaches. So Brother Peter David and the team from the government side would be consulting different sectors of the society, and we'd have to go to Parliament to look at how we're going to do it.
Prime Minister Mitchell said that while the use of marijuana remains illegal in Grenada, he has repeated his advice to the Royal Grenada Police Force to not waste time going after people for smoking a small spliff.
I don't see us wasting our time going and trying to arrest a young man for a joint of marijuana. That's a waste of police time. That is not to say we must encourage them. I'm not talking about encourage now, because let's face it, smoking is still dangerous for the human body. If you misuse cigarette, you know what it means. Cigarette is dangerous, but it's not illegal. So similarly, marijuana might be dangerous to some extent, but we should not have it. We have to move to decriminalize certain aspects of the use of marijuana. Alcohol, most of us take a drink of alcohol. It's not illegal, but if you abuse it, it can destroy you. So we all have to be very careful in going forward how we implement this. The message I'm sending is our position on this is changing dramatically, and we have to come to terms with that particular issue.
The issue of marijuana featured prominently again in public discourse here in the last 10 days. People reference the subject following the shooting of Chris Regis of Fontenoy St. George, who was shot by police when he was allegedly caught smoking a joint of marijuana. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Grenada recorded yet another confirmed COVID-19 case on Wednesday. The 30th laboratory-confirmed case is a 68-year-old female Grenadian national who arrived from the United Kingdom via British Airways on November 1st. The individual is asymptomatic, and all other passengers who were on that flight have been in quarantine since arrival, as per the protocols of the state. This now brings Grenada to 3 active cases of COVID-19 on island, all of which have been caught at the borders. The Ministry of Health and Social Security is urging everyone to exercise caution in daily activities, including practicing proper hygiene, physical distancing of at least 6 feet, and wearing masks while in public places. Here's where we take a break, but still ahead, this evening, strict rules for cruise ships and active surveillance for yachties to keep COVID-19 out. We'll tell you about that when we return.
This Christmas, it's happening with Republic Bank. Deals on Wheels. Get fantastic deals on Saturday, November 7th at the Republic House Car Park on Morris Bishop Highway from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. 100% financing. Same-day approvals. You can drive away with a brand new ride and a chance to win $10,000. Christmas is happening with Republic Bank. Deals on Wheels. For more information, visit us online at republicgrenada.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Your hard work, talent, and creativity, plus Flow, equals more ways to chase your dreams. Flow is connecting all of Grenada, from Point Salines to Hillsborough, with the most reliable connection on the island. So now everyone can work, study, and keep moving forward together. Visit discoverflow.co for more information.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
Rubis is giving you more ways to win because you deserve it. Spend $50 or more in Ultratech fuel or purchase a Rubigas refill at any Rubis service station and get an entry card. Win one of 5 amazing grand prizes worth $2,500, including Ultratech fuel, cash, groceries, bill payment vouchers, and home furnishings. Each grand prize winner gets to donate $500 to charity too. Plus, win exciting weekly prizes, including electronics. Make sure you're in with a chance to win. Win with Rubis. You deserve it.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'll be there. Something in these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your smiles and the way you tell me it's okay to try. unstoppable. I can pack my sack. I can take the long road. 'Cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Arise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Arise, with no wings, fly. Arise, and we're so high, enjoy the view. Arise, look, no wings, fly.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
Introducing the new Digicel Prime Bundle. It's simply more bundled together. 54 gigs for 7 days for only $25. More data, more fun. Activate today on the My Digicel app.
We are down to the finals of the Clark's Court National Karaoke Competition, the virtual edition. It's now time for the battle for the top spot. Tune in to Mikey Live on Sunday, November 8th to watch the best of the best go head-to-head for the coveted 2020 title. Over $10,000 in cash and prizes to be won. Event starts at 6 p.m. It's the grand finals of the Clark's Court National Karaoke Competition, the virtual edition, Sunday, November 8th. Log on and support your favorite artist.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
This Christmas, it's happening with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. Get fantastic deals on Saturday, November 7th at the Republic House Car Park on Morris Bishop Highway from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. 100% financing, same-day approvals. You can drive away with a brand new ride and a chance to win $10,000. Christmas is happening with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. For more information, visit us online at republicgrenada.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. The first stop in what is expected to be weekly visits to Grenada by a cruise line takes place next week. Officials say there are strict rules in place to leave little room for transmission of the coronavirus. We get updated details about the planned visit in this report from Blossom Alexis Welsh.
When Sea Dream Yacht Club becomes the first luxury ship to bring cruise ship passengers to Grenada since the country locked down its borders because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it will operate in a controlled environment to ensure the safety of visitors and nationals. The cruises will run round trip from Barbados and visit Grenadine Islands, including Grenada and St. Vincent, weekly. The first call is carded for next Friday. Manager Nautical Development at Grenada Tourism Authority is Nakoyan Roberts.
It's a very controlled environment for now. So if you are not booked on one of the 6 tours that we have vetted and prepared for you with our COVID-19 health protocols, then you will not be allowed to leave the ship. And for 2020, the Cruise Operations Group recommended to Minister Modeste Kerwin that we do not use any of the beaches right now.
The testing process of all cruise ship passengers is even more rigorous than for people arriving by air. Any visitor who wishes to disembark the ship needs to book ahead while also having 3 PCR tests done.
You are required to have a negative PCR test before you arrive in Barbados. You are required to have a negative PCR test before you get on board the ship. And the ship has a PCR facility, their medical testing facility. They have a machine on board where you do the 3rd test. The ship will home port in Barbados and visit St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. And before that passenger gets off in Grenada to go on that pre-book tour, they will have been tested 3 times.
Passengers will not be able to explore on their own, but will need to participate in organized excursions. Members of the public will not be restricted from visiting these sites while the tourists explore the island. However, Mrs. Roberts implores everyone, including nationals, to follow the COVID-19 protocols.
Now, when you go to the Nutmeg Factory or the Diamond Chocolate Factory, both are approved businesses in terms of health protocols. And at these facilities, you will be able to have the interpretation as to what is taking place. You will be able to taste everything, but you are managed under these tourism and health approved protocols for the attractions themselves. A rainforest hike to Seven Sisters or going to Annadale Waterfalls. Again, that is a very natural, open, healthy environment, and it's easy to put our social distancing practices into place. And if we are near to people, the guides who are interpreting for us, it's not difficult to wear our masks.
The tours will also include snorkeling, kayaking, hiking, and river tubing. Blossom Alexis Welsh, GBN News.
The yachting sector, which contributes a sizable sum to Grenada's tourism coffers. A few months ago, a yachtsman tried to sneak 2 persons into Grenada and was dealt with by the authorities. There has been concern that that subsector could find loopholes and jeopardize the strides made by health officials.
Yachties are not exempted from the COVID-19 protocols. In fact, it's one of the most policed areas, as ports of entry are screened for potential imported cases. Major stakeholders have adopted what they refer to as a harmonized COVID-19 protocols for all yachties arriving on the island. Nautical manager at the Grenada Tourism Authority, Nicoyan Roberts, says these are aimed at providing a collaborative procedure to combat the spread of COVID-19 and establishing a globally approved yacht-safe haven in Grenada. These measures were implemented on October 27th.
With full health testing on arrival, with tests before you came into Grenada and Carriacou, and a full 14-day quarantine, and testing after 14 days before you were released into limited movement. But they were also provision. They needed to get food, water, medical supplies, fuel at the end of the quarantine, and then after receiving their negative tests, they were then free to go to different boatyards and marinas that were pre-inspected and approved for business by tourism and health teams.
Statistics from the Tourism Department reveal that about 570 yachts and 1,200 crew members have been tested and quarantined thus far. No positive PCR results have been detected among them. For GBN News, Janelle McDonald.
It's time to give way to our citizen journalists who keep a keen eye out for subjects which may not readily feature in the news. It's time to shine a light on their find.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
If you have a fear of serpents, you may want to turn away from your screen. Tonight we feature an unusually colored serpent submitted by our eyesore reporter. The most common colors seen locally are black and white or sometimes black and gray. Our eyesore reporter thought this one was eyesore worthy. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 4053052 or our other social media platforms.
Stay with us, we'll have more news when we return.
They say sometimes less is more, but at Real Value IGA Supermarket, we believe more is more. And since we are all about more, we want to buy more from farmers like you so we can sell more to our customers. If you have a farmer's ID and fresh produce to sell, Real Value IGA wants to buy.
For more information, contact Real Value IGA on WhatsApp at 405-4405 or give them a call at 439-2121.
Sunday, 15th November. The annual Grenadian General Insurance Half Marathon is on. Race starts at 2 p.m. at Current through Redgate West Hall, Grandans Valley, Belmont, Kirani James Boulevard, and onto the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Transportation will be provided. One bus leaves River Sally at 12 noon and passes through Grenville. Another leaves Sates and passes through the western side. Two buses leave the NIS car park at 1 p.m. passing through St. Paul's and Grandans. Monetary prizes for the top 10 male and female finishers in the half marathon and cash prizes for the top 5 finishers in the 10K. The oldest finisher and the school or club with the most finishers. The annual Grenadian General Insurance Half Marathon. Sunday, 15th November.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
It's new, innovative and classy, and it cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Valley Medcare Center, located on Grenville Street, St. George's, has a highly professional team that gives excellent service in massage therapy, physiotherapy, speech therapy, medical consultation, and more. Hills and Valley Medcare Center sells a wide range of medical supplies, offers home visits for patients in Grenada and Carriacou, and opens Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. through to 7 p.m. Visit or call Hills and Valley Medcare Center today, 435-6904.
GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Everyone connected plus Flow equals a new way of living. And now when you add a mobile line to your Flow in-home service, you have 2 great ways to stay connected and save. Get 20% off your 7 or 30-day prepaid plan, or save 30% on a postpaid plan. That's how we save and stay connected. Call us or visit discoverflow.co today. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Residents at Ahoma in St. Andrew and neighboring communities will now have easy access to health care. Government is transforming a community center into a health center. We'll hear more from Rena Pear.
The Ahoma Community Center in St. Andrew is presently being transformed into a health center so that residents in surrounding areas can have a better access to medical services. This project came to play after the Tivoli Health Center was closed for renovation, leaving community members to travel to Hermitage St. Patrick, the nearest health center. The situation led to villagers airing their concerns on various media platforms for government to remedy the issue. Kelvin Phillip is the contractor for the project.
We're just doing some partitions to create doctor office, nursing area, kitchenette, pharmacy, and dressing room and reception areas over there. Well, we started it Tuesday gone. Yeah, we have 6 weeks to complete.
Philip said the project is 40% complete. Meanwhile, work is delayed on a 40-foot-long retaining wall in Blaise St. Andrew. The construction process started just 3 weeks ago and is 1 week behind due to heavy rain. Foreman for the project is Kenny Beach. The expected completion of the project is unknown due to the inclement weather. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
The focus is on energy this month in Grenada and other Caribbean islands. This comes with the launch of Caribbean Energy Month by the CARICOM Secretariat. Energy finance, technology and capacity features prominently in this year's activities as experts discuss path to sustainable, climate-resilient future for the region. The observance got underway yesterday with a virtual regional launch in the form of a panel discussion. Dr. Devon Gardner, Program Manager, CARICOM Energy, gave an account of the region's renewable energy ambitions. He noted that in 2020, renewable energy usage in CARICOM stood at 6%. This has grown to 12.3% in 2020, with the intention of further growth in renewable energy utilization to 40% by 2030. Dr. Gardner further noted that within the region, the conversation around cleaner energy has grown to include adaptation to difficult circumstances. Meanwhile, Minister for Agriculture Peter David believes not enough is being done to tackle predial larceny, and he plans to introduce technology in the equation. The minister has been meeting with farmers. His most recent field visit with over 20 farmers was at the Windsor Estate in St. Andrew.
Of course, you're aware that the predial larceny issue has been addressed over the years. We've had new legislation passed in the Parliament a few months ago. This legislation seeks to increase the sentencing for persons found guilty, but that is, in my view, not sufficient because we need to prevent it, not just cause people to go to prison when they steal, but to prevent it. And to prevent it, we have to use technology.
Just 3 weeks into his new ministerial portfolio, the Minister for Agriculture, Forestry, Lands and Labour, Minister Peter David, has hit the ground running. In what may be described as an interactive field day, Minister David sought to garner an understanding of farmers' plight and what he can do to assist. The Agriculture Minister toured farm roads, observing the deteriorating conditions, observing farms, and discussed with farmers issues such as fertilizers and predial larceny, with the hope that a workable solution can be found.
I come here as an advocate for agriculture. In other words, I will advocate for you. The day after I got into agriculture, I get calls from friends like in Morocco, all over the world saying, but they want to help. So Morocco trying to work on some fertilizer. I talked to the guys in Venezuela, they want to work on something called urea, which is apparently a form of fertilizer that's a byproduct of petroleum. So I'm going to work on all of that. But most importantly for me is to bring the farmers together, to organize together, to work hard together to achieve what.
Farmer Claudius Spear, in thanking the minister for his visit, noted that for persons to be encouraged to get into farming, they must first see it as an important arm towards sustainability. He called for further assistance in that regard.
Let our children look at us as farmers, as successful people. When there is help, when there is any assistance that come that you could assist, please help the farmers that are struggling.
Minister David, with a promise to work on some of the concerns, says cooperation among farmers is paramount.
With respect to the road and the binders and the concrete, I agree that we have to find a way to do it as what I would want, and Prince, I guess, would work with you guys on that, is to identify the areas I think are critical by saying this is most critical, then next. So at least when we are attacking, as I said, it's difficult times, it's COVID times, our economy is down. But if we could get, let's suppose we could get 50 bags of cement, we know for now which is you want to touch, and we do it piece by piece and take it according to priority. But I agree with you on that. And again, what it comes down to is the cooperation of all the farmers in the process of getting it done.
With the aim of fostering healthy relationships with the farmers, Minister David distributed his contact number and informed them of his open door policy to discuss concerns and ideas to take the agriculture industry forward. Christina John, GBN News.
Stay with us. The weather and sports are up next.
At Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a Communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal. Join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made.
The Franklins are returning from their dream vacation, but they soon discover that their world has changed.
They want to test Papa for COVID-19. Why they don't test all them damn people that are flying on the plane with the woman they call in Patient Zero?
Heritage Theatre presents Patient Zero, a full-length play written by Chris DeRiggs, directed by Neela Etienne. Patient Zero, a story about a family and a nation under the grips of COVID-19.
Madness! Pure madness!
He got the whole world in his hands. We got the whole world in his hands.
I mean, your father has just been carried away on a stretcher, and all you can say is you're locked up and you're frustrated?
What do you want me to say? I'm locked up and frustrated.
Patient Zero at the Grenada Trade Center.
They ain't even allowing 2 dashing to come from St. Vincent. All they're talking about is curfew, curfew, curfew.
Social distancing and other safety protocols will be in place.
Tropical shipping is fast and reliable. Always on time, safe and affordable. Friendly staff here to connect you. Tropical worldwide, you must get you. Shop online and you get it on time. Hassle free to meet your deadline. Consolidate any size, any load. With Tropical shipping, so we ship everything. I can't wait to ship with Tropical. I can't wait. No package too big, too small. I cannot wait to ship with Tropical. No package too big, too small. Just ship with Tropical.
Local agents, George F. Huggins and Company, Grenada Limited. Telephone number 440-8787 or visit our website at www.tropical.com. Email us at grenadasales@tropical.com. Tropical Shipping, committed to island life.
It's now time to head over to TV6's Sagani Mohammed for the regional forecast.
All right, Disha, let's take a look at what's happening across the islands, because maybe you've been feeling a little bit of that itchy nose, well, runny nose, itchy eye kind of feel. And you know that usually comes on when we have Saharan dust in the atmosphere, which is actually quite present, but it's in its lowest concentration. So quick tip, make sure that you have your inhalers on hand and your medication, your relievers as well, just in case you feel a little bit of a sinus or an allergy episode coming on. As the week progresses, though, we'll see a big change in our forecast forecast as time goes on. So with that in mind, let's jump into what's happening. And first up, we go over into the western portion of the Caribbean. Don't forget, we continue to track Tropical Storm Ada. This storm was downgraded just a few hours into its landfall as it's interacting with a lot of mountainous or hilly terrain at this time. And we're seeing a lot of moisture pretty much consuming Central America from Nicaragua to Honduras. At least 3 people thus far, to our knowledge, have died. And we've been talking about this on social media. The reports are still coming in as to what is happening because there are so many areas just without power and without any form of communication at this time. The governments of these 2 countries combined pretty much preparing their people for a lot of wet weather, not just tonight, but into the next couple of days, because Ada is here for quite some time. And I'm saying that because if we take a look at the forecast cone of uncertainty coming out as of 3 o'clock today from the National Hurricane Center, you notice that it's kind of making a loop and it's pushing back into the Caribbean Sea, which is not good news because it could very well re-intensify and re-strengthen into a hurricane within the next couple of days. So parts of the west, such as Jamaica, Cuba, even the Cayman Islands and Florida, as far north of that, will be expecting some wet weather and a lot of severe conditions to take place into the next couple of days. But we will be monitoring it for you right here on Team 6 and letting you know what's happening with our brothers and sisters over on the western side of the region. On the eastern portion, well, we've got Saharan dust, hence all of that kind of asthmatic flaring up and your sinuses flaring up over the last couple of days. But we are seeing a bit of a change in our forecast come into the next 24-hour period as we do have tropical wave activity kind of rolling in. These waves are just a little bit south of where they usually are for this time of the year, but that's okay. It just means that parts of Guyana and South America, even Venezuela, will be getting a lot more wet weather. And because of our proximity, well, Trinidad and Tobago most definitely expecting some showery action to pick up within the next 24-hour period. So from tonight, you'll notice that we had quite a sunny day today into this evening. Not a whole lot going on, a bit on the hazy side, and it is quite clear outside, but we also have some really warm temperatures to contend with as the evening progresses. So our lows do dip to the mid-20s, yes, but it's going to feel a little bit on the warm side and quite dull in terms of your sky cover. Into the early hours of tomorrow morning, look out for a brief pre-dawn shower picking up. So if you have an early morning commute, you want to pay attention to what's happening with that. And as the day progresses, well, you'll notice that there is quite a bit of sunshine, but it does become increasingly cloudy as the day progresses. So between sunrise and sunset, have the umbrella on hand, especially southern and western parts of the island. We are expecting some spotty showers as well as the isolated thunderstorms to pick up in this area. So take note as to what's happening. This will take into effect around mid-afternoon into the overnight hours before settling down by late evening. Temperatures into tomorrow's forecast get up to 31 degrees Celsius in Tobago. Trinidad coming in at 32 degrees Celsius. Quite humid, I might add as well. So you're going to feel a little bit sticky at times if you're taking a walk out in the town. So be mindful as to what's happening in your forecast. Relievers, inhalers on hand for the Saharan dust plume. A cup of water, something cool to drink to beat the heat, and an umbrella is needed as the day progresses for this quick passing afternoon showers.
Ofio.com. Sale. All the outlets, hotspot outlets. You're going to go to the Carnage, the Grenville, or the Sutter's hotspot, and you get sales and deals on all items. You can get these on potato, you can get these on saltfish, onion, garlic, mackerel, toilet paper, and we even have the currants and the raisin at $10 per pound. Lowest price island-wide. So people just come down or go up or go across, but just make sure and go to hotspots.
We are down to the finals of the Clark's Court National Karaoke Competition, the virtual edition. It's now time for the battle for the top spot. Tune in to Mikey Live on Sunday, November 8th to watch the best of the best go head-to-head for the coveted 2020 title. Over $10,000 in cash and prizes to be won. Event starts at 6 p.m. It's the grand finals of the Clark's Court National Karaoke Competition, the virtual edition, Sunday, November 8th. Log on and support your favorite artist.
Are you
looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Good evening, sporting fans. Grenada's Andre Fletcher is hoping to cement his place on the West Indies T20 team when he takes the pitch against New Zealand later this month. Andre is one of the 2 Grenadians travelling with the team and given the all-clear to begin training ahead of the start of the T20 series scheduled for November 27th, 29th and 30th.
Well, it's a great feeling, it's always a pleasure playing for the West Indies, representing the Caribbean on a whole. It's a great opportunity once again. I just have to, make sure I grasp that opportunity and, make the best use of it. Actually, I've become a more positive player. My shot selection has improved a lot. I've, worked very hard on my physical aspect as well, and a lot of strength work has been, I've been putting in a lot of strength work behind the scene, and it pays a lot during the CPL. So hopefully I can carry it on to the international level, and see what I can do best for the people in the Caribbean. Well, actually this is my 3rd time in New Zealand, and we haven't won a T20 series, if I'm correct, in New Zealand. So first, the team goal for me per se would be, to ensure that we can actually win this series. And my individual goal is to make sure that I can get as much runs as possible, where I can actually cement my spot in the T20 squad.
The other Grenadian on the West Indies squad in New Zealand is Preston McSween, who is part of the reserve team. We now head over to James Saunders at TV6 for more sporting news.
Well, now that the quarantine's away, the boys are out to play, as the West Indies players have finally got in a training session today ahead of the T20 series against New Zealand. It is expected to be a tough tour for the Caribbean team, with conditions expected to be bouncy and windy. West Indies players Kesrick Williams and Joshua Da Silva, well, they give their thoughts on the upcoming series.
After a lengthy flight, the West Indies are just about getting settled in and are bracing for the conditions in New Zealand. Seam bowler Kesrick Williams said they had a football match, and for now, all seems well.
After flying for so long, the jet lag and then 3 days isolation, it's tough, but I mean, we have a long time to get ready and get prepared for these games. So yes, I'm ready to go. I mean, today we had a little run out and we could feel the effects of the 3 days and the jet lag, but at the end of the day, we're professionals and this is a norm that we have to get accustomed to, and I mean, we're ready, we're good to go.
Williams has been to New Zealand before and expects some challenges with the weather.
The weather is messed up, so we have to really get climatized and get used to the weather. Today it can be really sunny, tomorrow it can be really cold. The wickets down here, it assists bowlers a lot, so I mean, what we can do as a bowling group is plan well and come out and execute those plans. Our batters, I mean, the last time we played test and one days, not T20s, I mean, the New Zealand guys bowl a lot of sharp balls to us, and I think it kind of hampers us a bit, but this time around we're playing T20s, and we have a lot of guys in the T20s that can hit the ball far.
Unlike the series against England, this match will have a few fans. Williams urged the West Indians in New Zealand to come out and support.
We have a lot of people here from the Caribbean that are supporting us, and I know they're going to come out. So come out and support us. Definitely we want your support because all of us here are family and we need your support.
Batsman Joshua De Silva, who is also in the fold, was happy to be back in the team.
Just happy to be back with the West Indies team. Just looking forward to learning a lot, just like I did in England, trying to take away everything that I can from this tour and put it into my game, and just happy to be playing red ball cricket again and in a competitive setup.
He has also had some experiences of playing in New Zealand back in 2016.
I played in a few states. I played in Auckland, I played in Queenstown. A bit different. Auckland was a bit drier and Queenstown obviously a bit colder, so the conditions were a bit more like England, just ball swung a little bit more. But yeah, the pitches were always nice, pretty good batting wickets, so just happy to get back out there.
Windies will be taking on New Zealand in 3 T20s starting on November 27th and 2 tests beginning on December 2nd.
That's it for sports. Up next, we have the Probe Around the Globe. We begin the probe around the globe in Guyana. The police force had offered a $3 million reward for information leading to the arrest and prosecution of the person or persons responsible for the murders of West Berbice youth Joel and Isaiah Henry and Harish Singh, which the lawyer for the family of the two of the youths called an admission of failure. HGP-TV has more in this report.
It would appear as though the Guyana Police Force has now hit a dead end into the investigation of the murders of the Henry cousins as well as Harish Singh, since a $3 million reward is now being offered to persons who come forth with information that may help to solve the heinous murders of the 3 teenagers. This is the view of attorney-at-law Nigel Hughes, who represents the Henry family. He made these remarks during a live press conference hosted by the family, seeking to update the media on the current state of the investigations. In an update to the family on October 30th, the police admitted that DNA samples which were sent for testing in St. Lucia did not match any of the suspects which were arrested in relation to the murders. Hughes drew attention to a pair of trousers which had been placed on Isaiah, as the original pants he wore at the time he left his house was not the one he was found with. Hughes stated that when he inquired of the police whether the trousers the lad was found with were sent for DNA sampling, the police were reluctant to answer, and by that he concluded that they had not.
How do I know that the trousers were not submitted? Because I asked a very specific question of one of the investigators and he was unable to respond positively. My history of dealing with the Guyana Police Force is that they're normally not reluctant to share that sort of information if they are in possession of it. As a matter of fact, my analysis of his response was almost as if he was saying, oh God, we should have done it. So that is the basis upon which I said that.
On October 3rd, the police, by way of a statement, had said that an Argentine team of forensic anthropology, EAAF, was being engaged and that they would build on the work already carried out by the GPF and the Regional Security Service, which was asked to render assistance to the Guyana Police Force. The Argentine team, however, seems to now be at a standstill, as the lawyer now claims that the Minister of Home Affairs has not responded to letters submitted to him by the Guyana Human Rights Association, as well as Hughes and Stobie law firm, questioning whether the government will foot the cost of the forensic team.
When we met with the crime chief and the lead investigator, they welcomed the Argentinian team. They said they were fully in support of it. We wrote, our firm wrote on behalf of the family of the Henrys to the Minister of Home Affairs. We sent him the budget and asked him if he could facilitate. I know the Guyana Human Rights has written twice. None of us has received any response from the Minister of Home Affairs.
Meanwhile, Jamaica's agriculture minister says he will update the public on plans to help farmers hardest hit by the recent heavy rains. TVJ reports.
The agriculture sector took a battering from the recent heavy rains. Some farmers say their crops were destroyed and their animals killed. Opposition spokesman on agriculture Lothian Cousins asked about relief for farmers affected by flooding.
I appreciate the fact that we are still experiencing flooding, excessive rainfall, and therefore you probably, out of an abundance of caution, would want to wait until you have a full assessment of the damages before you present to us the relief effort for the farmers. It is very important that the relief, whatever relief you are proposing, is presented as soon as practicably possible.
Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says the plan is to speak about the relief for the sector next week since it's still raining. He says though a preliminary assessment has been done, the ministry wants a clearer picture of the extent of the damage to the sector before a full plan is rolled out.
Nonetheless, Madam Speaker, we have already started to respond. RADA has already, through its own reallocation and sources, has already made $15 million available for the hardest hit parishes, which thus far are Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth. That will go automatically to the procurement of seeds to be again administered through the RADA office and the procurement of chemicals.
Speaking of relief, the minister today announced $120 million in relief for the fisheries sector, a sector still significantly affected by COVID-19.
Further afield, throughout his presidency, Donald Trump has consistently singled out the European Union as a threat to U.S. interests. While his stance on the continent has pleased his supporters, it has angered many EU leaders. Al Jazeera reports on why the U.S. election matters more than ever for Europe.
Who's your biggest competitor, your biggest foe globally right now?
Well, I think we have a lot of foes. I think the European Union is a foe, what they do to us in trade.
The relationship between the US and Europe has never been straightforward, but for decades they've seen each other as allies. Under Donald Trump's presidency, there's been a big shift in both language and policy. On trade, threats have turned into action. US tariffs on almost $8 billion worth of EU goods have already started to hit. They were imposed over Europe's subsidies to aircraft manufacturer Airbus. In a parallel dispute involving American aid for US firm Boeing, the EU won the right to hit back with tariffs on imports from the States. Brussels is expected to hold fire until after the US election. While an actual trade deal between the economic giants seems a distant prospect, a win for Joe Biden might make things easier.
I do think that the tone of the talks is going to change. I mean, I don't need to elaborate on why it is extremely difficult, not to say impossible, to have any dealings with the White House under Trump. But I think if there's somebody reasonable, then we may still have different interests or different viewpoints, but we will negotiate, we will discuss like, you know, civilized grown-ups and friends.
A series of political disputes has also heightened transatlantic tensions. A recurring theme for President Trump has been NATO and the idea that the US effectively subsidizes European members of the defense alliance.
So Germany's delinquent. They've been delinquent for years, and they owe NATO billions of dollars, and they have to pay it.
That's it for the program on the Globe. When we return, a recap of the headlines. Recapping the headlines, Grenada's Prime Minister among long list of Grenadians in tense wait-and-see mode for American elections. He says the results will be important for Grenada. Minister of National Security repeats calls for the cops to stop hunting down people found smoking a marijuana spliff. An asymptomatic case of COVID-19 imported from the United Kingdom, the second being reported in as many days. And the Yarties not being left out of tough COVID-19 screening procedures. In sports, Andrea Fletcher pledges hard work for a New Zealand tour, while in Around the Globe, $3 million reward offered by Guyana police for assistance in Berbice murders. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at gbn.gd or on our Facebook page at GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Beverly Telesford. That's news. Good night.
see the Democrats start in 2016. You start to see it. This is a 51-46 race if you round up statewide. And now you come to 2020 and you see even more blue here. And you come in, now you look in, it's the margins, right? So you look into Atlanta, Fulton County, 72% for Joe Biden. We'll go back in time, 69% for Hillary Clinton. The Democratic stronghold, it's the most votes in the state right here in Fulton County. So what we're about to hear, as you come back out, look at the margin, 72%. Joe Biden needs to get, of the remaining votes there, 70% or more as we go. And so you're looking around again, Fulton, DeKalb, you move up here to Gwinnett, not quite, right? It's a more conservative. As you move away from the city, you tend to get more Republicans in the suburbs on the outer loop. 58 to 40, still Joe Biden winning convincingly, and you see here you're up to 95%. So here's what you're looking for. That's 95, but you come this way, you're still at 89 in a place where Joe Biden is getting above 80%. So if you're in the Biden campaign, you think, let's keep counting them. They keep coming in like that, we're in play. Same. Keep coming in like that, we're in play. You move over here, the margins go down a little bit in Cobb County as you move away, but still 10% to be counted here. I want to check down here in Douglas County. Again, a big Biden margin here, but you're up to 93%. It's also a little bit smaller population-wise as you move away from Atlanta. So bottom line, Wolf, 56,000. We're waiting for a big chunk out of Fulton County we could get any minute. That will be a huge indication, right? If they report tens of thousands of votes, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 of those votes, and you see the gap continuing to narrow, then we will know Joe Biden's trajectory and the possibilities of overcoming that in the state of Georgia. Look, you know, Democrats have wanted Georgia for some time. A month from now, they might think this is a moral victory. Today, they want the math victory.
They would love that if they could carry Georgia. That would be huge. I want you to listen to this. Erica Hill is in Nevada for us right now. Erica, you got some news. What are you hearing?
Yeah, well, you know, we've been waiting on more numbers. The Secretary of State said overnight when they put out the most updated numbers a little after 2 a.m. that we would not get any more results until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. local time. Well, you can imagine a lot of people are wondering because this is such a tight race between Joe Biden and the president here in Nevada. A short time ago, they told CNN that they are hopeful that they could maybe give us some more updates this afternoon. We're still waiting on that information. And as we wait, there's a lot of focus on Clark County. So that's where I am right now. Of course, it is home to Nevada. Some 70% of active voters in this state are in Clark County. It has leaned heavily Democratic in the past. What you're seeing behind me is some of these mail ballots that are being processed. This is the big sticking point here in the county. The Clark County Registrar told us we won't have any new numbers from here either until tomorrow morning, that they were following the lead of the Secretary of State. But as we look at these mail-in ballots, the reason this is so tough is we don't really know, Wolf, how many outstanding ballots there are. And the reason for that is that for the first time this year, every active voter in the state of Nevada was sent a mail-in ballot because of COVID, understandably. So we can look at the number of ballots that have been returned. We can look at the number of people who showed up to vote. We can look at the number who registered same day, because you can do that in the state of Nevada. But to be honest, it's a little bit of a game of math, and we don't know ultimately how many votes are outstanding, because those people who received a ballot could have voted in person or may decide not to vote at all.
Well, Eric, as soon as you get that information, as soon as you get the numbers, let us know. We're watching Nevada very, very closely. So, John, we're going to get numbers, more ballots out of Georgia and Nevada, both states. That could be really, really significant.
And we hope so. And again, as you've watched our correspondents throughout the day, in Detroit, in Philadelphia, Gary Tuckman just now in Fulton County, that's Atlanta, Erica Hill out in Nevada, the transparency is absolutely critical here. We have a very close race for president. Nevada and Arizona could put Joe Biden over the top. In Nevada, Joe Biden's lead, 7,647 votes, right? It's been that way for some time. We have, as Erica noted, no new votes out of Nevada, essentially, during the daytime hours here today. And so if you're the Trump campaign, you're saying, you know, we want to see the votes. We want to see the additional votes. And you can completely understand that. Whether you're a Biden supporter or a Trump supporter, it's a close race. This is the state that could make the difference right now. And so you're the Trump campaign, you're saying, what's happening out there? So I think the transparency part is absolutely critical. You want them to get it right. That's what they're going to say. It's an unprecedented election. But you want to see more. And as Erica notes, look, 7,647, 49.3 to 48.7. This is a very competitive race. In a state that has been trending blue, a state that Hillary Clinton carried 4 years ago, you see the margin there. Again, close race, though. 48 if you round that up to 46 if you round that up. So this is a close state. Trending blue, but Republicans, especially President Trump, have been competitive in this state of late. This is the ball game. This is the ball game where Erica is. She's in Vegas, Clark County. Vegas and the suburbs, very different place than 25 years ago. One of the fastest growing areas of America, also an area hard hit in the COVID economy because the tourism industry is down. So this is a great laboratory of American politics at this moment because of the Latino population, because of the suburban growth, because of the economic issues. And look what you get, 53%, 45%. Again, you know, this is
Hold
just
on a moment,
Clark County.
John.
Sure.
There's a briefing going on in Fulton County, Georgia right now. They're giving us some new information. Let's listen in.
The only ballots that are adjudicated are if we have a ballot with a contest on it in which there's some question as to how the computer reads it. So the vote review panel then determines voter intent. We're trying to make sure that every ballot is counted, and we expect to be here. We're bringing in some more fresh people because we've had people here all day. We expect this to go probably until midnight or more.
How many absentee ballots were cast in Fulton County in all for this election?
We're probably close. We have somewhere near 142,000 that will be at the end of the process. We've scanned 113,130 as of moments ago. We've adjudicated 106,000 plus of those. The 106,000, those have already been published on the website. We're going to run more frequent batch updates over to English Street so we can get those, the vote review panel to update those, to go through those and adjudicate those so we can get more updates throughout the night.
I didn't hear.
116.
Essentially right now we've got 5 scanners, and because we only have 5 openers too, so we can't, even if we brought in more scanners, it's not going to help at this point. What we would need is more space, and if we need more space, I would have to ask everyone here to leave so that we can get more tables in here. We're going to do we're going to finish tonight. Yeah. As long as it takes, we're going to be here. That's why we're bringing in fresh bodies. The what? Well, we'll end up getting to the total, which is above 142,000. We've already scanned in 113,130. What takes the most time is getting them off, because the cutters and extractors, has to cut through 2 envelopes, so you run through it twice, and then it goes over to the flatteners, and that is a manual process over there. Well, right now we're up to 106,000 on the, up from 74,000 yesterday. We're up to 106,000. On our way to, it'll be somewhere near in the neighborhood of 142,000. So. Can I what? Okay. No. Well, no, but you can't publish a batch until that batch goes through adjudication. Because what it does, any ballots in there that are flagged to be adjudicated by the vote review panel, those have to be dealt with before you can publish that batch. So the vote review panel will go through and they'll see any contest that's on a ballot that has some question as to the way it was marked. The vote review panel then decides voter intent. None of the ballots get rejected. All that happens is if you make a determination on a contest on a ballot whether the voter intended to vote for this person or this person. So there aren't any rejections. If a ballot is rejected, it's done before you get to this process for either missing signature or signature mismatch. So once it goes through the scanner, it's going to count the ballot. It's just that there may be a question on one race or contest on that ballot. Well, it's mostly the space. I mean, we don't have at this point, we might bring in some more tables and just get some letter openers and try to start opening by hand. to supplement what we have with those. Yeah, sometime. It'll be after midnight by the time we get them through adjudication.
Are there any other votes that were cast in this election, whether in person or in any other way, that are still left to be counted for other reasons?
Well, yeah, any UOCAVA ballots, the military overseas, they have until Friday to come in, and then any provisional ballots.
Do you know about how many there are that will be counted?
I don't know how many.
All right, so we'll continue to monitor that briefing in Fulton County. That's Atlanta, Georgia, the largest county in Georgia right now. I think he said that they've already received 142 absentee ballots. They reviewed about 106,000 of them, so they're going to release maybe 36,000 more in the next few hours.
Right. The math bounced around a little bit. That was the bottom line as well. They got about 36,000 more to go. And again, this is Fulton County, Atlanta. You see those people counting the votes right there. He says they're kind of overwhelmed, but they're going to get through it. He promised they'd be done by late tonight. He says they'll stay as long as it takes. So if you think if there's 36,000 more ballots to be had here, this is the question, right? Let's come out to the statewide total first. 56,000 vote lead at the moment, 56,739. And you think just in this county alone, the largest county in the state, 36,000 votes. We know Joe Biden was winning at least 72%, although we're told today, in counting these absentee and mail-in ballots, the percentage for Joe Biden is actually higher in what we've seen reported today. So if you just think about it, again, you can do the math at home. It's 56,000. Round that up to 57,000, right? Just round that up. There's 36,000 ballots right here just in Fulton County. Joe Biden needs, pretty obvious, the overwhelming majority of those to get him back in the hunt. It still wouldn't be enough, even if he won, say, 75, 80% of them, but it would narrow the gap. And that's just Fulton County. And that's what's important to note. Fulton County says they'll be done by late tonight, maybe in the wee morning hours, but we'll get these here. And then you move over here to DeKalb County, and we have ballots out here as well. The numbers have moved throughout the day, so we'll try to get the latest number here, but there are still thousands of ballots to be counted here. And this is a place where Joe Biden is winning more than 80% of the vote. And so this is a very narrow, path for Joe Biden to catch up, but it's possible because we have these votes out in the Democratic suburban counties around Atlanta Metro, including Atlanta itself, where that news conference played out. Again, you're looking at 56,000, 57,000 if you want to round that up at 94%. The math gets hard, but what we have seen today in counting of these absentee ballots is that Joe Biden is running ahead, certainly well ahead of his statewide numbers, because most of these ballots, not all, but most of these ballots are in Metro Atlanta, which is predominantly Democratic, which is why in the Biden campaign they have some hope of overcoming this math, and we just need to play the process out.
There's 16 electoral votes in Georgia. If you take a look at 253 that Biden has right now, 253 plus 16, you get very, very close, 269 to the 270 you need.
Right. So we know right now if Joe Biden can just protect his leads in Nevada and in Arizona, that would be enough. Right? That would be enough. But just remember the moment we're in right now, where the president's campaign, we'll see if they follow through. But the president's campaign says we're going to send lawyers to Pennsylvania. We're thinking about lawyers to Michigan. We're thinking about a recount in Wisconsin. We're in this time where the Trump campaign and their war room is trying to think, how close is this? If there's one state, if we got one state back, would that make the difference? And so imagine if that also went blue. Not only does it change the Electoral College math, it gives Joe Biden more of a cushion that then changes every other political decision that has to be made. It would change Republican. If this comes down to one state, there'll be some Republicans who side with the president, who say fight it out. If Joe Biden can run up another one and pad that a little bit, then you'd have Republicans saying, Mr. President, back off, the American people have spoken. Would he listen? We'll see. But it's not just the Electoral College math. It changes the political psychology, if you will, which is why we want to count them all. And again, to be fair, the president's team says, they think they can change those. Again, Joe Biden is ahead right now. The trajectory is in Joe Biden's way. But just as we want to count the votes here, we should count the votes there. We will get to a landing place when we get more of the votes.
Let's count the votes in Pennsylvania as well. Sarah Murray's in Philadelphia for us. Sarah, what are you seeing? What are you hearing?
Well, Wolf, we did just get an update from the Secretary of State, Kathy Boockvar, and she said, even though this count is going slow in Pennsylvania, they are expecting to get hundreds of thousands more votes totaled tonight and in the overnight hours. And look, we know that just here in Philadelphia County that they've been working 24/7. They are counting all hours of the day. That's true of a lot of these big counties across Pennsylvania. We are still getting these numbers rolling in kind of county by county. There haven't been any major issues that have been arising. It just takes a while. It's a lot of mail mail-in votes. It's the first time they're grappling with this number of mail-in votes, and that's why the Secretary of State also offered this kind of word of caution tonight. She said even though we're going to continue to get these numbers rolling in, it could still be a matter of days before we get the overwhelming majority of these ballots tallied. So they just keep urging patience here in the Keystone State, Wolf.
All right, Sarah, thank you. 86% of the vote in Pennsylvania, John, is in. The president is ahead by 245,000 votes, but that's a lot less than it was just hours ago.
It's a lot less than it was, and it's trickled down from midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. through the daytime hours as they've counted more. So again, in a normal election, you would look at 86%, a lead of 245,000 votes, and you would say, okay, that's impossible because, look, they're splitting the votes along those ratios. That's not enough for Joe Biden to make it up. That's what you would say in a normal election. But Sarah just made the most important point, and it's a bit of broken record. But remember, a lot of people mailed in their ballots. We know from the data in Pennsylvania in particular, overwhelmingly a Democratic vote, people who mailed in their ballots. Then people voted in line early, and then people showed up on Election Day. So election officials dealing with 3 separate batches of votes, if you will. And where is Sarah Murray standing? She's standing in Philadelphia. So if you look out here and you look at that number, 47.4%, that your eyes tell you and your math skills tell you Joe Biden can't make up 245,000 when he's getting less than half the vote. However, where we're still counting votes include places like Philadelphia where, lo and behold, still 30% of the vote out. Joe Biden's getting nearly 80% of the vote, right? You move to the other suburbs around here, 61% of the vote. So that is why, when you look at the statewide numbers, they tell you one thing, but when you zoom in on where we're still waiting to count votes, because this is a slow and arduous process, again, 57, 58% if you round up out here. Statewide, Joe Biden needs more than that in the math, but you see if he can run up good numbers here, still votes to count. Again, this is the total counted so far. What we know so far is, at least in the past, those mail-in ballots have been even more lopsided in Joe Biden's favor. We don't know if that will continue, but we do know as we count them, there is a mathematical possibility he can overcome that, which again, in every single one of these states, the Biden campaign wants to count them all here. The Trump campaign wants to count them all here. On that, we should all agree. Count them.
Count the votes. We'll be patient, and we'll watch what's going on. We got a key race alert right now. All right, John, take a look at this. We're talking about Georgia right now. Trump's lead has shrunk to 47,000 votes right now. Trump has 49.9%. Biden has 48.9%. Georgia, 16 electoral votes. It's now down to 47,111 votes. It keeps getting smaller and smaller, that lead. And we're waiting now, bracing for a whole bunch of new numbers to come in.
We are. And again, we just heard the gentleman, the election official in Fulton County. You look at the statewide number, that was a much bigger number hours ago. So again, this is a tense day for everybody. If you're watching at home and you have a favorite in the race, especially if you're one of the partisans in the Trump campaign headquarters or the Biden campaign headquarters, and you have national headquarters, and guess what? You have people on the ground here too. And the important point, and Gary Tuchman noted this, you have people in the room. So what, again, President has been saying, he thinks there's nefarious things going on. There are Republicans and Democrats and independents in every one of these rooms all across America, in red states and blue states, red counties and blue counties counting the votes. The reason this is getting interesting is because in these predominantly Democratic counties, populous counties, Atlanta, Fulton County will give you 10% of the votes statewide. Will come out of this one county. We'll get more votes later today.
36,000.
Right, and as votes have come in throughout the day from Fulton County, they started with 142,000. That's one of the reasons the statewide lead has been shrinking, because Joe Biden has 72% in the county right now. In the votes counted today, his percentage is actually higher than that. So we're waiting for votes there. We're waiting for votes here. Again, your eyes tell the story. He's getting 80% plus in this county. If that continues, then Joe Biden is in play as they continue to count votes. And you move over here again, nearly 60%, then the math gets a little more interesting, but you keep counting them. And again, I just want to make clear, we're looking at these Democratic counties in metro Atlanta. We do know, we've been told that there are some more votes. Places like Houston County has some votes coming in. Here, the president is doing better. That does not guarantee that in the votes still to be counted, he continues to win. But that's one of the reasons, to be fair to the president, some of these votes, and you can just pick a random county. In a lot of these places now, you're at 95%. It's a smaller county. But there's a possibility, we're focusing on metro Atlanta because that's where the most votes are. And if Joe Biden is to come back, that's where it's going to have to happen. But there are some smaller counties that it's possible the president could pick up in as well.
Yeah, and as we keep saying, Georgia is so important. 16 electoral votes. We'll see what's happening. We should get those numbers fairly soon. We're awaiting those new vote totals out of Arizona, where Joe Biden is leading, also out of Georgia, where the race has dramatically tightened over the past few hours. Will we learn the winner of the presidential race soon? You're going to find out. Stay with us.
I'm Bill Weir from CNN. How many people are in these kind of conditions?
Climate change is here.
Imagine that wall of flame. This just happened. I've never seen anything like this. It's a full-blown disaster.
To adapt is to survive.
My heart breaks for you.
We must get it right. It's life.
Try to be global and we try to be smart. And we try very hard to get both of those every week. What I want to hear are authentic voices of people who are passionate or intelligent about a subject, who will make you smarter, move you emotionally, who will kind of challenge your mind or move your heart. And that's the consistency that we try to get at.
Fareed Zakaria, GPS, Sundays on CNN.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the National Lotteries Authority's Daily Pick 3 evening draw for today, Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. I am Anisha Charles. With me this evening is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this draw is conducted in an accountable manner, and the game balls with industry standards and no waste tampered with. At this time, your tickets ready. It's Daily Pick 3. It pays to play. Good luck. Over this evening is check tickets in the meantime. First number is 7, second number is 3, third and final number is 1. Let's recap those numbers. Numbers on the screen. First number is 7, the second 3, third and final is 1. So that's 7, 3, and 1. Congratulations, all winners. Stay tuned, get your daily cash flow drop next. We'll see you soon.
Tick
Attack. 2. I win.
Feel like a big kid again when you play NLA's new scratch game, Tic-Tac-Toe. It's instant cash on the go. Reveal 3 X's or 3 O's in the same row, column, or diagonally, and win the prizes shown, or as much as $5,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play. Tic-Tac-Toe, please.
Give me a tic-tac-toe, please.
Tic-Tac-Toe, please.
Win more with the NLA's Daily Cash 4. Every day with more plays and bigger prizes to be won. It's a 4-digit game with all the bet types you already know and much, much more. From 0000 to 9999. Choose your 4 numbers and place your bet from 11 different bet types. Choose from inline, 4 different mixes, first 3, last 3, and 4 different backup options too. Best of all, it starts at just $1, except for backups, which starts at $2. Win as much as $5,000 with a $1 inline bet and as much as $6,200 in a $2 backup bet. Imagine $50,000 for a winning $10 inline bet. There's definitely more to win with the Daily Cash 4. More plays, bigger prizes. Twice per day, Mondays to Saturdays. Must be 18 and over to participate. NLA, making your dreams come true while supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Daily Cash 4 evening draw for today, Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. I am Anisha Charles. With me this evening is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this draw is conducted in an accountable manner, and the game balls with industry standards and in a way stamped with. At this time, should tickets ready. It's Daily Cash 4. More plays, bigger prizes. Let's find out what this evening's winning numbers will be. Good luck. First number this evening is, check your tickets in the meantime. First number up is 8, second number is 5, third number up, third number is 6, fourth and final number is 2. Let's recap those numbers on the screen. First number up is 8, the second 5, third 6, fourth and final is 2. So that's 8, 5, 6, and 2. Congratulations, all winners. Stay tuned, we get your play reach up next. We'll see you real soon.
I'm a winner, you are winner, we are winners, winners.
It's the big one. Grenada. Imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just 1 little ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money bag symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch in stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
Cause I'm a winner. From the moment that I get up, I'm feeling right.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Playway evening draw for today, Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. I am Anisha Charles. With me again is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accountable manner and the game balls with industry standards and in a way stamped with. Let's play Playway, value your dreams, and win your way. Good luck. This evening's winning Playway number is, check your tickets. This evening's winning Playway number is 20. Let's recap the number 2020. 20 represents dream symbol belly. Congratulations, all the winners of this evening's Playway draw. Tune in later on for the lotto draw. This evening we'll play for a jackpot of $40,000. We'll see you then.
Grenada, spice of the Caribbean, is one of the most beautiful and authentic islands. Our people are so friendly and sweet. The local music is so
Hey, roll it up. I bet everything, boss. We are Mai, Snapper, Big Jacks. We even have Lambia Lobster. Now come in. Like you is a mobile fish market. Partner, we had to step up the game in this COVID times. We have premium fish. We don't have to go in a line. We come and drop it right at your doorstep. My brother,
necessity is the mother of invention. And this too shall pass.
And give me a COVID bounce on that, man. This too shall pass. We can't wait to start delivering our premium cuts to the hotel.
I am a chef, and I can't wait to do our best dishes for our guests. But in the meantime, I spin in my hand with daily lunches, and on weekends, I set up a little grab and go.
Nice.
Give me 2 lobster and 15 pounds of yamai.
No problem, no problem.
Hey, vacuum packaging. I like that touch. I see you guys ready for when things pick up again.
Sure thing, man. Well, we're making a move again. So, I will pass by one of these weekends again. I will see you later. Well, on the move.
Stay strong. We in this together.
True thing. Tourism is all our business, and we have to play our part. Driver.
Tourism connects us all.
Natural beauty forever. Let's go Grenada. Yo, Grenada.
It's new, innovative and classy, and it cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Hills and Valley Med Care Center, located on Grenville Street, St. George's, has a highly professional team that gives excellent service in massage therapy, physiotherapy, speech therapy, medical consultation, and more. Hills and Valley Med Care Center sells a wide range of medical supplies, offers home visits for patients in Grenada and Carriacou, and opens Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. through to 7 p.m. Visit or call Hills and Valley Med Care Center today, 435-6904.
At Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a Communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal. Join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made.
The Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Program, SIAP, is a rural development program whose goal is to contribute to the reduction of poverty among men and women in rural communities in the Tri-Island state of Grenada.
I had the opportunity to attend entrepreneur training funded by SIAP. It really helped me a lot, and it have bring me up a bit in my business here at Golden Sweet.
The main objective of SIAP is to support ongoing and startup businesses in rural areas through capacity building, technical services, and financing with a focus on youth.
Hi, my name is Kezroy Sampson. I'm part of the photovoltaic installation roofers program with SIAP. So this program has been very beneficial for me, and I would say for majority of the class who have actually taken it as serious as I have. It is very, very effective.
The Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Program offers training and financing for business startups for youth, business support services for businesses that have been operating for more than 3 years, scholarships for vocational skills training for youth, facilitated by TAMCC, NULO, and Grenada National Training Agency, training in climate smart agriculture practices to communities and schools, grants for farmers and fishers for CSA projects, marketing assistance for farmers, construction and rehabilitation of farm access roads, and construction of irrigation systems for farmers.
My name is Karim Dragan, and I took part in the GIDC Business Skills Development Training. The training helps you to see where your money comes from, where does it go, and how you manage your money altogether.
I must say I am eternally grateful to SIAP and to NULO for giving myself and my colleagues this opportunity to learn this housekeeping course. It has not just benefited me, but I'm sure I can speak for all my colleagues. It has benefited all of us.
My name is Stevie Noel, and I'm a SIAP beneficiary.
My name is Livron, and I'm a SIAP beneficiary.
My name is Shirley Bartolomeo Bowen. I am a SIAP beneficiary.
My name is Elisa Fortune, and I am a SIAP beneficiary.
My name is Karim Dragan, and I am a SIAP beneficiary.
SIAP is funded by the Caribbean Development Bank, International Fund for Agriculture Development, and the Government of Grenada. For more information, contact our office at 442-0105. Email us at siap@siap.gov.gd or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at SIAP Grenada.
SIAP, sustainable agriculture for a vibrant future.
Try to be global and we try to be smart. And we try very hard to get both of those every week. But I want to hear our authentic voices of people who are passionate or intelligent about a subject, who will make you smarter, move you emotionally, who will kind of challenge your mind or move your heart. And that's the consistency that we try to get at.
Fareed Zakaria, GPS, Sundays on CNN.
we're expecting to see some more votes counted in Arizona and Georgia. We're expecting actually two sets of results coming in tonight in Arizona over the course of the next several hours. Unclear exactly how many votes we'll be getting. But Gloria Borger, do you anticipate any clarification on where things actually are in Arizona?
Well, we might. We'll get results from Maricopa County, and so we'll be able to see a big bunch of ballots.
Not total results, though.
No, not total results. But if you look at Maricopa County, and I know the Biden campaign is kind of looking forward to getting those results. They can say then that they are ahead by a margin that you would not be able to beat given the remaining number of votes.
The campaign is equally anxious.
I know. I know they
I think
are.
it'll be a clue. We'll see, because their theory is that these late drop-off votes are going to skew Republican, and if there's a large number of these votes that are reported tonight, even if they're not determinative, they'll give you a sense of the direction. But
what's the evidence that these would be Republican-leaning?
Again, I was talking there. It's not where they are. It's when they are.
They came in late,
and these came in late. They were almost like, if you will, at going to the polling place. So you drop them off at the ballot box at the day of, which is sort of what the Trump people were all aiming for, trying to get something
more Republican, more likely Republican. And you got a lot of people nervous now because Arizona has not been called by CNN. That is very scary to a lot of Democrats. People, we're still, feel snake bit from 2016, and so there's still.
It's really hard to get Democrats nervous.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, Republicans.
I wonder why.
Republicans are nervous by what's going on in Georgia right now. These numbers. And you're going to hear this from conservatives. Georgia keeps coming up with ballots. And that's one of the frustrating things when you in this type of election.
Voting
leads to. Well, yeah, I understand. Voting. But when you have these type of absentee ballots, things like that, you don't know exactly how many you have.
Well,
and that's it sort of leaves that. Well, what are they doing, right? Because they keep coming up with ballots. The reality is, you're right. It's called voting. This is nothing unusual about this process. It does happen all the time. You don't know how many absentee ballots until, guess what? You get them and you count them.
Well,
that's when you find out.
Because they're filing lawsuits in Michigan, Pennsylvania,
Wisconsin,
Georgia. Not, I noticed, in Arizona at this point, because they want those votes, those unknown absentee ballots that have just dropped in. They want those ones.
Yeah,
right.
That's almost kind of political.
I don't know.
How about that?
Well,
you guys are such cynical people.
So here's the thing in Georgia. All right, Trump won by 211,000 votes last time. The lawsuit you were talking about, Anderson, there is somebody saying that 53 late absentee ballots were illegally added to a stack of on-time absentee ballots, and that
53.
53. So you're gonna, if this is what you're gonna do, after a certain point, everybody wants a fair election,
and won by 30 votes, 53
exactly
in a close election. 53 made a deal.
About 100,000 maybe.
But yeah, still.
But what I'm saying is, what they're really worried about is not those 53 ballots. They're worried about the fact that Trump won by over 211,000 in 2016, and that is not what they are seeing.
Well, that is something that we should note. We're sitting here and we're saying there's great suspense about whether Trump or the Democrat will win Arizona and Georgia.
Wow.
Which would have been unthinkable not long ago.
I'm not too sure that's true, because remember, we were sitting here before any of these results came in, and we had national polls saying, including CNN, saying he was going to lose by near double digits.
No, but I'm saying historically, Rick, something is happening in this country. There is a new coalition in these states between, in Georgia, largely African-American voters, but not exclusively, also Asian and Hispanic voters, and suburban voters. In Arizona, Hispanic voters and suburban voters. There are new coalitions growing that are making these Sunbelt states much more competitive. And so whatever happens tonight, that is an interesting development in American politics.
So it's really not about 53 votes. It may be about something that they can't control at this moment. Win or lose, it's these coalitions that are shifting on the Republican Party, whether it's demographically or regionally.
You talk about a new coalition. Is there going to be a lot of soul searching in the Democratic Party once this is all settled and whoever wins? Just looking at the House results, looking at what they were expecting.
Everything went great. What do you mean soul searching? Everything went great for us. You mean the fact that we were supposed to take the Senate, didn't? Right. Supposed to grow our majority in the House, lost a bunch of seats.
Actually, lost African American. I mean, not total. Obviously, they were overwhelming support, but yeah, that President Trump was able to pick up African American males, African American females
against someone who was universally condemned by the media as a racist and a bigot, right? Against Hispanics and blacks. So, I mean, there's an issue here, and it comes back to. I think the biggest loser in this election is not Donald Trump. It's the far left of the Democratic Party. They are the ones who got repudiated tonight, which is a blessing to Joe Biden.
That'll be a consolation to the president, I'm sure.
I agree with you. It is a complete blessing to Joe Biden because he has every defense to say, well, you know what, you guys, this message, I'd like to help you, but I got to deal with the Republicans in the Senate.
The court, that's gone.
Well, packing the court's gone. D.C. statehood is gone. Ending the filibuster, not under Republicans, and so this is a great thing for the country because we're not gonna have these types of institutionally jarring fights that may occur when because the left wants to throw a tantrum.
It's a great thing if you like stability. It's a great thing, and who doesn't like stability? The problem is you now
talking about our Constitution.
Well, no, listen, you had your turn. Listen. The problem that you have now is that you've got some problems that we're not sure how you're going to get them addressed. It doesn't feel great if you're a Democrat. I just want to walk through the list of particulars here. It doesn't feel great if you're a Democrat to be up maybe 3 million votes or 4 million votes on the presidency, and you still don't know if you're going to get a chance to have your guy in the White House. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't mean you change the Constitution. But the other side's got to start acknowledging how many times can Republicans get this close while losing by millions of votes people who want somebody to be president of the United States. It doesn't feel that great. I know that people don't want us to have D.C. be a state or Puerto Rico be a state. But you got Wyoming with 500,000 people and got 2 senators, and California's got 30 million people and 2 senators. There's some of these things are starting to really grate on the rising majority, and if we don't do something about it, it's going to blow out in other ways.
So tonight, will there be resolution on Arizona? I mean, if there's 2 batches of votes.
And I suppose it depends on the size. There are 600,000 votes out, and the first batch they were talking about tonight, I think, was maybe 70,000. But I think it will give you a very clear sign, and it may give the people who have higher pay grades than us here and elsewhere who make these calls on races a real clear sense of trends that could allow them to call it. It certainly will give us a direction. I think if Nevada comes forward, we may get an even clearer sense.
We're watching the vote counting in Georgia as we await new results out of that state as well as from Arizona, of course. Will we be able to project winners in either of those battlegrounds? It is all ahead. Stay with us.
from CNN.
How many people are in these kind of conditions?
Climate change is here. Imagine that wall of flame. This just happened. I've never seen anything like this. It's a full-blown disaster.
To adapt is to survive.
My heart breaks for you.
We must get it right.
It's life.
try to be global and we try to be smart. And we try very hard to get both of those every week. But I want to hear our authentic voices of people who are passionate or intelligent about a subject, who will make you smarter, move you emotionally, who will kind of challenge your mind or move your heart. And that's the consistency that we try to get at.
Fareed Zakaria, GPS, Sundays on CNN.
We are in night 2 of our special election coverage, and we're inching closer and closer to learning who wins the White House. We've seen former Vice President Joe Biden lock up 2 critical wins in the last few hours, besting President Trump in both Michigan and Wisconsin. Now we're awaiting potentially significant results out of 2 of the 6 states that are still undecided. We expect new vote totals tonight in Arizona, where Biden is leading, and in Georgia, where the race has dramatically tightened. This comes as Biden is close to the 270 electoral votes needed to win the contest, locking up 253 compared to 213 for Trump. The Trump campaign filing legal charges now in multiple states as the numbers seem to be working against the president.
With just $2, you can gift yourself with a chance to win the Lotto jackpot. Now, imagine winning the National Lotteries Authority jackpot of $40,000. Why pass upon this winning opportunity? Lotto, play and win a lot of money.
A pleasant evening to everyone. Welcome to the National Lotteries Authority's Lotto Draw number 3135 for today, Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. I am Anisha Charles. With me this evening is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accountable manner, and the game balls with industry standards and in a way stamped with. At this time, you should tickets at hand because we're about to play for a jackpot of $40,000. But first, your free ticket letter. Good luck. This evening's free ticket letter is check your tickets. Your free ticket letter for this evening is D as in dollar. Let's proceed for 5 winning numbers. Good luck.
First number this evening is check your tickets in meantime. First number is 25. Second number is 6. Third number up. Third number is 26, followed by 22, fifth and final number. Final number is 33.
Once you have those numbers, check your tickets. First number up is 25, the second 6, third 26, followed by 22, fifth and final is 33. So that's 25, 25, 066, 26, 26, 22, 22, and 33, 33. Your free ticket letter for this evening is D as in dollar. Congratulations to all the winners of this evening's Lotto draw. Lotto, play and win a lot. Really play all the games of the National Lotteries Authority, supports sports, culture and the nation building. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. Welcome back everyone to another Playway Evening Draw for today, Wednesday, November 4th, 2020.
The Franklins are returning from their dream vacation, but they soon discover that their world has changed.
They want to test Papa for COVID-19. Why they don't test all them damn people that are flying on the plane with the woman they calling Patient Zero?
Heritage Theatre presents Patient Zero, a full-length play written by Chris DeRiggs, directed by Neela Etienne. Patient Zero, a story about a family and a nation under the grips of COVID-19.
Madness! Pure madness!
He got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands.
I mean, your father has just been carried away on a stretcher, and all you can say is you're locked up and you're frustrated?
What do you want me to say? I'm locked up, I'm frustrated.
Patient Zero at the Grenada Trade Center.
They ain't even allowing 2 dashing to come from St. Vincent. All they're talking about is curfew, curfew, curfew.
Social distancing and other safety protocols will be in place.
These have been tough times, and we could all use a helping hand to get through this period. GUT Credit Union gives you the opportunity to do just that without a worry. What are you looking forward to? A relaxing staycation? Brand new appliances or devices? Consolidating your debt to get more money in your pocket? Not a member? No worries. Come in and find out how you too can make the most of this offer. Or visit us today. Yes, you can have a brighter Christmas season with GUT Credit Union. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
53 ballots that arrived late being put on top of a pile of ballots that arrived on time. All the ballots had to arrive by 7 o'clock yesterday. I asked the director here of the election department in Fulton County what he thought about that lawsuit. He didn't want to comment specifically about the president, but he said we locked the ballot boxes. We did not accept any ballots after 7 o'clock. I also want to mention to you, they scan the ballots here. They then go to counters in a different room. Those counters look at the ballots, and as I mentioned before, and this is a very important thing, the way they do it in this county, they have one Republican and one Democrat look at the ballots. Those are adjudicators if there's any problems with the ballots. They then make a decision if the ballot should be counted. If they disagree, if it's 1-to-1, then they have an election observer who's independent make the final decision about it. That's the way it's done here in Fulton. In other counties, they have one Democrat, one Republican, and 2 independents working together. Every county does it differently, but it's very important to point out that that is the process. Whenever there's a problem ballot, you look at it in a bipartisan way. Wolf?
You know, Gary, you mentioned about 47,000 ballots are still outstanding in those 3 counties. Do we know how many outstanding ballots there are in all of Georgia?
According to the Secretary of State's office, there are currently, and here's the number, 149,000 ballots that still have to be counted. Now, we don't independently know if that number may even be higher than that. That's the number we have been told by the Secretary of State's office. The Secretary of State of this Georgia is a Republican. He has stressed, and this is kind of an indirect aside to this lawsuit. I don't know if he's responding to the lawsuit, but it's referencing it. He says that everything has been very secure since the 7 o'clock deadline for absentee ballots last night. No ballots are accepted after that.
So of those approximately 149,000 outstanding ballots, do we know if they're mostly or all mail-in ballots?
Yes, they are all absentee mail-in ballots. There are some other ballots that come in that are problem ballots that haven't been mailed in. It's a very small number, but you could rest assured that most of this 149,000 is mail-in ballots, and the state of Georgia says they all arrived in time by 7 o'clock last night to be counted.
Very interesting indeed. We'll get back to you, Gary. Thank you. Excellent work. You know, John King, if we take a look at the numbers in Georgia right now, Trump is ahead by 46,000 or so votes. If there's still if there's 149,000 outstanding ballots, who knows what could happen?
Right, and
those are mail-in ballots, and the Democrats like those mail-in ballots.
Democrats like those mail-in ballots. We've watched more ballots counted today, and we know that disproportionately, at a much higher rate than a statewide total, Joe Biden is winning those ballots so far. Doesn't mean he will as we get to the finish line. So let's walk through slowly what we're talking about. About 149,000 ballots, according to the Secretary of State. Again, these numbers are bounced around. That's not to say anything's going wrong. These officials are trying to do the best they can, checking in with all those counties. So the Secretary of State at this hour says 149,000 left. Well, that tells you Joe Biden, if he performs very well, it's a steep hill, but he can catch up, right? There's enough votes. So then we come over here to the just shy of 48,000, right, that Gary just noted. Where is Gary? Gary is here in Metro Atlanta. Let me turn this off so I can zoom this out for me. These may wave away a little bit, but just remember, just shy of 48,000, right? Fulton County, that's part of it. Atlanta, that's where Gary is. Look at just look at the percentages. Joe Biden needs to run it up with these remaining ballots to catch up to the president. Well, he is running it up in Fulton County. So 36,000 more ballots to be counted here. Joe Biden has been winning 70% plus of those ballots throughout the day. You see that there. So again, if you're in the Biden campaign, it's a narrow window, but you can get through if your math continues the way it's going. Gary mentioned DeKalb County over here. Guess what? More ballots to be counted here. I think 4,400, I believe he said. 83%, right? Joe Biden is getting 83% of those ballots so far, so you're counting those ballots here. That's why the math works. And you just go around Gwinnett County was the other county he mentioned. Joe Biden's total not as great here in the full count, but again, if you're getting 58, 60%, maybe in the mail-in ballots it's a little bit higher, maybe it's a little lower, but it just shows you in the metro Atlanta region, as you bring these counties back into play, 36,000, 4,400, 7,500, there's some math here in this deep blue area here to make up some votes. And that's not all the votes. That's not all of them. I'm going to blank this out just a little bit. I mispronounced this earlier. We know in Houston County, it's not Houston County. My apologies to the people of Georgia. I said this wrong earlier. We know, again, there's the earlier couple thousand were still out here, and the president is doing well here. Doesn't mean he's going to catch up when these votes are counted. Doesn't mean they're all his or 55% of them are his when it's counted. But let's be fair to the president. There's some ballots for him out there too in these smaller red. That's why we need to count them all. And then you come over here, Chatham County along the coast. There's been some arguing between the state Republican Party, the Trump campaign, and the counters here, the county here about the count. We'll watch that play out. But if you look here right now, again, 57% for Joe Biden to 41%, 87%. So you have more ballots to be counted here as well. Joe Biden needs to do better, statewide needs to do better than that 58%. But remember, that's the full count of everything counted so far. We do know in the mail-in ballot so far, his rate of return has been higher than that. So that's just why, look how close this state is, 49.9 to 48.9. There's a history here going back to the governor's race. Stacey Abrams lost. Brian Kemp won that race. A lot of anxiety with Democrats thinking that the votes weren't counted properly, that the system, that not enough attention was paid to the integrity of the system. Well, guess what? Everybody's watching now. We'll watch this play out. 49.9, 48.9, 45,000. Remember, Wolf, in the early morning hours, that lead was 6 digits. It was way higher than that. And so it's shrinking down now, which is why you count them to the very end.
We got another key race alert. Speaking about shrinking down, look at Pennsylvania. Right now, Donald Trump's lead over Joe Biden has gone down to some 200,000 now. It was 600,000 earlier today, 600,000. Now it's down to 200,000. Trump has 51%. Biden has 47.8%. John, 88% of the estimated vote is in. So the president's lead has gone from about 600,000 down to 200,000, and there's still lots of votes out there.
And what makes this late counting interesting, I would say fascinating, at a campaign headquarters, a source of great tension, is where we know it is, in the sense that, again, come into the city of Philadelphia and you bring it up, we still have 70% estimated reporting. Well, look at this math. Joe Biden is getting 79, close to 80% in the city of Philadelphia to 20% for the President of the United States. They still have a lot of votes to count in Philadelphia. Remember, look at Joe Biden, 457,000 right now, close to 458,000. 4 years ago in Philadelphia, the Clinton campaign did a pretty good job. They thought they did a great job in Philadelphia 4 years ago. Didn't work out. Trump won the state narrowly. But look, 584,000. We know our anticipation is this is a higher turnout election. It has been everywhere. I'll show you the popular vote in a minute. That's one of the remarkable things, no matter who you're rooting for. But look, Joe Biden at 457. We have every reason to believe this number is going to go up and to go up substantially, which again helps Joe Biden narrow that gap. The other suburbs around, Montgomery County, now up to 92% now. But again, Joe Biden winning 62% of the vote here. Every reason to expect mail-in ballots. We'll see if it changes. But Joe Biden is winning these votes. So as you count them, little bit more conservative, a little more close race, but still 13, 14 points, Chester County there. Joe Biden's going to rack up some votes, and we don't want to spend all our time in southeast Pennsylvania. This is where most of the votes are. But if you come up, here's a Trump County, Luzerne County, up to 94% now. So again, in these states, we're going to go through them all. There are places where it's possible the president picks up some votes. It's not as populated as Philadelphia and the suburbs around it, but there could be some votes here. It helps you offset it if it's happening. Or these could be mail-in Democratic votes, even in a Republican county that the president carried. That's why we have to count them and find out. And then lastly, I just want to come out to Allegheny, out here in western Pennsylvania in Pittsburgh. Again, 89%. That means 10, 11% of the vote is still out. Joe Biden's getting 59% here to 40% for the president. When you round it up, we don't know if those trend lines will continue. Would it be higher for Biden? Will it be lower? We don't know, but that's why you count the votes. And so again, you come back and you look now, that 200,000, that's stunning. That's stunning because you could roll the tape back several hours and we were talking 400,000, 600,000. So as they count more votes in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it is getting closer. And so the calculations now are, you know, the president's still leading there. But if I can just walk over here for a second. So where are we is the issue. And 253 to 213, which means Joe Biden is closing in. And so there's just a couple different ways to game this out. This is hypothetical, right? But this is just what's going on in the campaigns right now. Okay, Joe Biden's leading there, and Joe Biden's leading there. If he holds those, that's it. That is game over, right? But the president has his lawyers in several of these states. We have a very contentious environment right now. If the president were to win, you know, the rest, and you had Joe Biden at 270 and the president just behind him, well, think about the divided country, the contentious environment. What would happen? What would happen if Joe Biden could come back in Georgia and come back in Pennsylvania? Then you get above 300. So, you know, the president's lawyers will still have their questions, but you're in a very different political environment. Now, would the president of the United States listen? That's one question. I won't try to answer it. I'll leave that to our White House reporters. But if you have 306 above 300, well, then other Republicans are going to be leaning on the White House to say, Mr. President, sorry, this broke late the other way, which is why it's critical that we count all the votes. Now, again, to be fair to the president, it is perfectly conceivable he holds on to that one narrowly. It's perfectly conceivable he holds on to that one narrowly. Perfectly conceivable we expect he'll hold on to that one. And we know the president is going to win Alaska when we count the votes there. And we know the president at the moment is leading in Maine's 2nd congressional district. Maine awards them by congressional district. So it is also possible, if Joe Biden holds his leads here, that he's the president-elect, or at least in theory he's the president-elect. We have some litigation, demands for recounts maybe, challenging ballots somewhere, and the country waits for that to play out at 270 to 268, which is essentially where we are, polarized, even divide. So we know these are the two that could clinch it. Most of our attention right now is going to go to Nevada and Arizona, because if Joe Biden wins them, they get him to the finish line. But how these other states play out is going to say a lot in the next maybe 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, maybe 72 hours about the balance in that electoral count and the political mood, if you will, the political leverage back and forth that we see evidence and displayed at the White House.
And we'll see if we can make some more projections in the coming hours right here as well. Jake, over to you.
All right, Wolf, as the most powerful nation in the world continues to try to figure out who exactly is going to be our leader for the next 4 years, let's check in with the campaigns. Let me first go to Jim Acosta, who's at the White House. Jim, what's the latest? What are you hearing from Team Trump?
Yeah, Jake, I think it's fair to say there is some high anxiety inside the Trump campaign about Georgia. You heard John King just talking about how that gap is narrowing in Georgia between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I am told by a Trump advisor, looking at the numbers right now, this advisor is saying this is a jump ball in the state of Georgia. Earlier, this advisor was telling me, no, they felt like Georgia was going to be fine, that it was going to be close, it would tighten here as these ballots are counted. Now the same advisor is saying, no, Georgia is a jump ball. And in the words of this advisor, the president cannot lose Georgia. He can't lose Georgia. If he loses Georgia, in the opinion of this senior Trump campaign advisor I just spoke with a little while ago, the president is likely to lose this election. Now, if you take those 16 electoral votes in Georgia and put them in Joe Biden's column, according to our math, he's at 269. He's on the doorstep of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. He has not clinched 270, but it makes it much easier for Joe Biden to win the presidency if he has Georgia, because then you just add Nevada or Arizona, and then you have President-elect Joe Biden. So who would have thought, Jake, that we would be talking about Georgia in this election? But Georgia is certainly on the minds of people inside the Trump campaign tonight. They did not see this coming, Jake.
All right, Jim Acosta, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's go to Jeff Zeleny now with the Biden campaign in Wilmington, Delaware. And Jeff, we're still waiting to hear from Georgia. We're still waiting to hear from Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania. How does the Biden team think that this is all ultimately going to end?
Jake, I would say as the day is ending, the Biden campaign is feeling pretty confident, but it's unclear if the day is ending, actually, particularly with those states out west. We are going to see more ballots, more votes coming in. So we still have the Biden campaign watching all of this very carefully as it unfolds. But there is one number that they are thinking about. It's at the center of virtually every conversation you have with Biden advisors. That is 17. They are 17 electoral votes away from hitting that 270. That is all he needs to win the White House. Georgia would be extra on top of that. Other states as well. So the Biden campaign is being extraordinarily disciplined. They're not responding with statements after every time the Trump campaign is sending one out. That is dramatically different from what we've usually seen from them throughout the course of this campaign. When the president says something, the Biden campaign responds. We have not seen that in this moment. So one thing that has been a bit of a surprise here is the silence from the president. All day long, the Biden campaign has been wondering what he's going to do. Is he going to speak? Is he going to come out and say something? He's tweeted, but not spoken. So that was certainly different from the former vice president. Joe Biden, of course, struck a tone here in an afternoon address talking about unity, bringing the country together. So at this moment, as we watch these come in, virtually 24 hours after they were hoping to have some type of a celebration, just behind me here, everything is still set up. They do not know when this will end, but they are confident, they remain confident, but they still need those votes to come in. So they'll be watching Nevada tomorrow, and they'll be watching Arizona tonight. And Georgia, should it happen, that would be just ice cream on the top of this, Jake.
All right, Jeff Zeleny, thanks so much. And Abby, I mean, I think it's clear. We don't know who the president is going to be. We don't know who's going to get to 270 electoral votes. But I would rather be Biden than Trump at this point in terms of where the outstanding votes are.
Yeah, there are a lot of holes in the president's wall right now that he has to patch up. And Georgia is a really big problem for him. I think the campaign knows that, which is probably one of the reasons we saw that lawsuit come through. But as Jim said, if the president loses Georgia and either Arizona or Nevada, this is over. It's as simple as that. They understand that in Trump campaign headquarters. And at this point, though, like with all of these states, there's not much they can do. The votes are coming in, and they're coming in from heavily Democratic parts of the states. And so it's creating a real problem for them. We just have to wait and see what happens, but it's not looking great.
I remember, Dana, I said yesterday that the Biden people were telling me that the outstanding states were, they thought, going to be like Virginia, which was a lot of Trump vote, but they didn't. The urban centers and the suburban centers reported their votes late. Richmond, Virginia, and then Fairfax County, Virginia, and then Biden won. And they said that was going to happen with Wisconsin. It did. They said that was going to happen with Michigan. It did. And now we're waiting to see if it happens elsewhere.
And we're going to know really soon. I mean, this all has been exciting and certainly angst-provoking for a lot of people. But if you look now, it's, 8:19 p.m. Eastern, and according to Kyung La, a reporter in Arizona, we are going to maybe get a big tranche of votes that are outstanding that could give us a sense of how big of a gap Joe Biden has, or how much of a lead he has, or whether it is going to shrink. And we really are on the precipice, potentially, of knowing who the next president of the United States is. And the fact that we're talking about it, and it's Arizona, is pretty remarkable. We don't know if it's going to happen, but just the fact that that is a potential pivot point for a president of the United States who is a Democrat just shows the fact that demographics are changing in many states, and number one is Arizona.
And you know what? Arizona is also their best shot right now, really. I mean, if you really look at what's going on in Arizona, the reason they've been expressing so much confidence about Arizona is because the state is not, Maricopa County is not quite as polarized as, say, Atlanta and the metro areas around Atlanta. So they feel like they might get a more favorable split of those votes coming in, but that's not saying a whole lot. I mean, they have a fair amount of ground to make up in that state, and it really shows how big of a problem that they have, that Arizona is their best shot, and it's not a really good situation that they're facing right now. That state is, right now, Joe Biden has a pretty comfortable lead for Arizona, and if he's able to hold on to it, it blocks Donald Trump's path to the White House.
So much of the Trump era has been as if it was conceived in a writer's room in Hollywood. And the idea that his advisors have been begging him for years to stop attacking and insulting one of Arizona's favorite son, Senator John McCain, who he attacked and said he wasn't a real hero, I like people who weren't captured, et cetera, and just went on to attack John McCain, and then John McCain died, and he was incredibly ungracious and then continued to attack him when he died. Ultimately, his widow, John McCain's widow, Cindy McCain, who very beloved and respected in Arizona, endorses Joe Biden. There must be so many people in the White House right now who are just tearing their hair out watching these Arizona returns, thinking, I told you not to do that.
You read my mind. I was sitting here thinking Arizona and thinking John McCain and Cindy McCain, and frankly, now former Senator Jeff Flake, who endorsed Joe Biden, but it's much more of the McCain legacy. And I mean, I'm sure you're talking to people who are close to John McCain, that it's John McCain's last laugh, if in fact his state, his beloved adopted state of Arizona, goes for Joe Biden, his old friend who spoke at his funeral, who eulogized him, whom he met when John McCain was an aide to then Senator Biden and other members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. I mean, can you imagine the poetry of that if it happens?
If it happens. But the way that the writers have been conceiving of this this season of the Trump show, it might. Stay with us as we head into dramatic moments tonight as new results are released out of Arizona and then Georgia. Will they help Joe Biden cross that finish line? It's just 17 electoral votes away. Stay with us.
All right, take a look at this first, though, the Electoral College map, where things stand right now. Biden has 253 electoral votes. Trump has 213. Remember, you need 270 to be elected president of the United States. Biden is getting very, very close. Let's take a key race alert right now. 3 battleground states. In Arizona right now, with its 11 electoral votes, 82% of the estimated vote is in. Biden is still ahead. He's got more than 92,000, almost 93,000 vote lead over Trump, 51% to 47.6%. We're told in the next half hour or so, we're going to get a whole bunch more votes out of Arizona. We're going to see where that goes. But take a look at Georgia right now. Look at how it's narrowed so dramatically, under 40,000 now. Donald Trump's lead over Joe Biden in the state of Georgia is 39,817. 95% of the estimated vote is in. 16 electoral votes only hours ago. That lead was in the hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Now it's down to 39,817. And look at the lead, how it's shrunk in Pennsylvania for Donald Trump as well. It's down to 195,953. Earlier this morning, it was many, many more. 88% of the estimated vote is in. 20 electoral votes in Pennsylvania. Very dramatic developments. We're watching those 3 states very closely, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona. Let's check in with Dana Bash. She's got a closer look on the balance of power in the U.S. Senate. What are you learning, Dana?
That's right, Wolf, and we have a projection to make in the state of Michigan, and that is that incumbent Democrat Gary Peters will go on to another term in the U.S. Senate, defeating Republican challenger John James. This is a back-and-forth race, but the Democrat has eked it out. So let's see where the balance of power is. Democrats have 47 seats. Republicans have 47 seats. 6 seats remain to be called. Remember, Democrats need 4 seats to take back the Senate. That's exactly where they were when they started this race. Let's look at some of the tight races right now. Arizona. This is one where the Democratic challenger Mark Kelly has been way ahead of Martha McSally. He right now has 144,000 votes more at 52.6%, and Martha McSally at 47.4%. We're still waiting for votes to come in there. And there are 2 races in Georgia. The first that we'll talk about is incumbent Republican David Perdue, who is 133,000 votes ahead at 50.2%. John Ossoff, the Democratic challenger, at 47.5%. That 50% is key to look at, because that is the only way that anybody can win in Georgia, if they get at least 50% without a runoff. And speaking of runoffs, let's look at the special election. This is going to a runoff. The Democrat Raphael Warnock is going to go up against Kelly Loeffler. That runoff is going to happen January 5th of next year. So let's look at some of the other tight races that we have yet to call right now. North Carolina incumbent Republican Tom Tillis is ahead. He is 96,000 votes ahead at 48.7%. The Democratic challenger Cal Cunningham at 46.9%. 94% of the estimated vote in there. And in Maine, the Republican incumbent Susan Collins had what many saw as the fight of her life. She is ahead by our count 52,000 votes at 50.3%. Sarah Gideon at 43.0%. Sarah Gideon has conceded that race. We have yet to call it. We're waiting for more votes to come in. In Alaska, Dan Sullivan, the incumbent Republican, has a significant lead. He's ahead by 53,000 votes, 62.9%, and the Democrat is trailing pretty significantly. And then let's look one more time, Wolf, at the balance of power right now. Democrats have 47 seats. Republicans have 47 seats. 6 seats remain. And Wolf, this has been a heartbreak for a lot of Democrats, because they saw this as a perfect opportunity to take back the Senate. They had a lot of Republicans that they were trying to beat who were very vulnerable. And right now, it is a very, very tough slog for them to actually achieve that goal. Wolf?
We'll continue to watch it with you, Dana. Thanks very much. Let's get right back to the presidential contest, John. Under 40,000 vote lead now in Georgia for the president, 16 electoral votes in Georgia. Let's check in with Gary Tuchman first. I want to see the latest developments that are unfolding there. I know we're anticipating a lot more numbers about to be released.
Wolf, Georgia has been a reliably red state for a long time. The last time it picked a Democrat for president was 28 years ago with Bill Clinton. So that's why these numbers are eye-opening. You just said it yourself, 39,000 now separates Donald Trump from second place Joe Biden. But here's the number that really matters at this moment. The Republican Secretary of State here in the state of Georgia says there are still 122,535 outstanding votes. And behind us are some of them. This is Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County, the largest county in the state of Atlanta. These are the processors and the scanners looking at the absentee ballots that arrived by the deadline at 7 o'clock last night. They've counted a total, they will count a total of 142,000 when it's all over. They still, though, have 36,000 just in this county that will be posted tonight. That's the plan. By around midnight or shortly after midnight, they plan to post 36,000 additional votes. These processors and scanners send these ballots to counters in another room. If there's any problem with the counters, they're looked at by adjudicators. The adjudicators are a two-person team, one Republican to one Democrat, to make sure the intent of the person who filled it out is clear. If they disagree, then a third neutral person looks at it. In addition to Fulton County, there's the nearby county of Gwinnett, which is the second largest county in Georgia. They still have 4,400 votes to count. And then there's DeKalb, which is the fourth largest, and they still have 7,500 votes to count. They all plan to finish their counting tonight. We can tell you it's a very tense and interesting scenario when you're in this room with these people. These folks know they're doing really important work. It looks like a beehive. They never stop working, but we are told as long as we've been here, I mean, they just never stop moving is what I'm saying. They're also never stop working. But we've been told by the election director here that everything is being done really honorably. He wants to make that very clear. The Trump campaign has filed a lawsuit saying that in one county here in Georgia, that they spotted 53 absentee ballots that came after the 7 o'clock deadline, put on the pile of absentee ballots to be counted. That's their allegation. The election director here in the largest county, Fulton County, says that it's absolutely not allowed, that when 7 o'clock came last night, the ballot boxes were taken away. No mail was accepted today. Every ballot on these people's desks came before 7 o'clock. One more thing I want to mention to you, Wolf. Lots of counties in the state are counting absentee ballots, and not just the few I mentioned. In the Atlanta area, we're talking about 60,000 total ballots in the Atlanta metropolitan area. But we told you it's a total of 122, so that's another 62,000. One of them is in a Republican county. I mispronounced it earlier. For the record, I want to say it correctly. It's Houston County, not Houston County. There's also a Houston Street in New York City, and there's the Houston, Texas. We always want to get our Houstons and Houstons right.
And Gary, just to be clear, those 60,000 ballots in the metro Atlanta area, those are all mail-in ballots, right?
These are all mail-in absentee ballots, which is the way people have voted for a long time, which is the way members of our military vote. It's an accepted way to do it. Each state has different rules when the absentee ballots can arrive. For example, I spent the election in Ohio. Ohio allows absentee ballots, as long as they were postmarked by Monday, to arrive 10 days after the election on the 13th. Here in Georgia, the rule is they had to arrive by 7 o'clock last night.
All right, Gary, we'll stay in close touch with you. Thank you very much. So, John, Trump is ahead right now by less than 40,000 votes in Georgia. 122,525 ballots are outstanding in the whole state. But in the metro Atlanta area, there's a significant number he was just talking about right there.
He said half of them, roughly half of them are right there in metro Atlanta, and you see the blue star. I want you to remember this number, 122,000 left, right? So again, I'm going to blank this out for a minute. I'm going to keep metro Atlanta circled. Just want to show you something here. So you think, okay, 122,000 left. You know, that's a narrow lead, just shy of 40,000. You think you can't make that up. I just want to make a point here. At midnight last night, forgive me for turning my back, I'm left-handed. At midnight last night, that was Donald Trump's lead
in the state
of Georgia. 372,000 votes. It is 39,800 votes right now. So that is the momentum. That is what has happened as they're counting these ballots overnight and throughout the day today. So that was your number at midnight. That is your number now. You're nervous in the Trump campaign headquarters, and at Biden headquarters, you're saying, count those votes, please. We want to see them. So let's blank it out and see where we go. Gary standing in Fulton County. Again, 93%. More ballots to be counted. Gary says we should get those later tonight. We know Joe Biden is, in the public record, is winning 72%. We also know from the ballots counted today, that's actually a little bit higher. The votes for Joe Biden, the percentage is a little bit higher today. So if you're trying to make up that gap, that's what you need to do. Post a big number. Gary mentioned more ballots out in DeKalb County. Look at here. Joe Biden is getting more than 80% of the vote there. If you're going to catch up, you have to win a disproportionate number of the votes. Simple math there. We know that's happening. We have more coming in Gwinnett County. This one, so a little closer, 58-43. Joe Biden needs to win, again, overwhelming majority of those votes. We'll see as they count them right here.